Well, Matt, you've been here, 6 seasons now, so
Yeah.
you've seen quite a lot of changes within the academy. Just talk about your role first and foremost, though, because it's an important role that helps develop the players at the latter end of the academy.
Yeah, it's a broad role, Phil. So I oversee the coaching programme from under 7 to 23, so it's quite unique in the fact that I can work with every kid from 7 all the way to 23. And then another component to that role is the continued development of the coaching staff. Because ultimately, if we have the best coaches, we're going to develop the best players as well. So yeah.
In terms of how things have changed, because as I say, when you came in, a lot of this wasn't here. Actually, we were sort of in the early stages of being a training academy here at Mean Park. How have things progressed since that time?
Yeah, it's changed so much. I mean, to start with, we had no 3G, so the 3G's here, the building of the stands as well. And obviously with the news around the dome get built, that's great news for everyone. And then in addition to that, the number of staff we have as well now is a real plus and positive.
Yeah, you mentioned Cat 2 status. How does that affect things in terms of academy? What more things do you have to do?
Yeah, I mean, it's great news for the club and the academy as a whole. So that provides us the opportunity to join a different games programme. So there's some more difficult games, playing against different teams, the Championship clubs and Premier League clubs, which is going to be great news for everyone. With that is obviously the increase in facilities, not only for our facility, but the facilities we're going to travel to as well. And like I said, the increased number of staff. So we've got a full-time analyst starting, which is going to be great news for us. Full-time goalkeeping coach. Addition to the 23s as well. We've got increased medical provision and also head of education. So in terms of the staff, purely based on the amount of staff, hopefully the programme will improve and increase.
Yeah, you mentioned the recruitment of players, and you talked about recruitment of staff as
Yeah.
well. How important is it to get that right, both in terms of the coaches, because obviously you want to obviously develop them in terms of the work that they do, but also the locality of the players as well?
Yeah, so another bit I didn't mention actually is the increase of recruitment staff. So that's going to be massive for us in terms of drawing players in and getting the right players in. We want to develop local players first and foremost, so the increased number of bodies on the ground in terms of scouts is going to help us do that. So that'll be a real big plus for the programme as well.
Yeah, obviously you've got the local football, Junior Alliance football, Sunday League football, everything along those lines. Do you get out? Can you get out and watch that? Do you get people recommended to you? How does the whole process work?
It's been a bit of a joint effort in the past, Phil, to be honest. Like, I've been out to games, the coaches have been out to games, Sam, obviously the head of recruitment, has been out to games. So we've had to all muck in. So yeah, it's a joint effort, but now, like I said, with the increased number of staffs, number of scouts joining us, that will just make life easier for us.
In terms of obviously Cat 2, you talk about the games programme. That's obviously going to be massive in terms of the different teams that you're going to play. Does that filter all the way down the programme?
Yeah, so our schoolboys programme from 9 to 16s, they'll all get to taste that. There'll be elements of travel involved, obviously, but we were travelling anyway. But I think it's exciting for everyone. It's going to be a challenge. We must continue to drive the programme forward. Like I said, we've come a long way, but no one's going to rest and no one's going to stand still. We want to drive and push it forwards. Our ambition is to be a leading Category 2 academy, so none of the staff are going to rest.
I guess when you have the ambition from the owners and the investment from the owners, that must be really pleasing as someone who's worked in the academy for a while to see progression and continued progression. Yeah,
I mean, without them and their backing from the owners, we wouldn't be able to do this, first and foremost. So credit and a massive thanks to them. And then also the pathway that's now at the football club is tremendous. We've got the relationship with the first team that, to be honest, I think most academies envy. And we could have the best programme in the world, but if we didn't have that pathway into the first team, we're not going to get players in the first team. So in terms of the gaffer, in terms of Scarfi, Robbo, Matty, everyone involved with the first team, that pathway is so natural now that it makes our life easier in a way. It's demanding because we're in the Championship now, so the level's gone up, but it's motivating for all of us.
Yeah, and it must be so pleasing for any academy coach when you see people like Ricky, Harrison, and more recently, obviously, Aaron Powell, Charlie O'Connell, to be in and around the first team group. And yes, there's the Bridgeway of 23 football, but the manager has them with him in the first team. And speaking to them, they wake up every day, and it's so exciting to be part of. And I guess as a coach, you have a sense of pride in that as well. Yeah,
massively. I mean, when I joined the football club, Ricky was a 13, 14-year-old, so I've seen him turn into a man. He is a man now. Likewise with Harrison. So it's really nice to see them in the first team. and hopefully they can continue to kick on. And then our job is to make sure, like, who's next. You know, we have to. Yes, we're happy for them and with them, but we need to look at who's going to be the next one to get in that first team.
Those kids that are coming through, look up and see Harrison and Ricky. Is that a real motivator for them? Could you use them as a sort of, like, if you get your head down and work hard and hone your talent, you could be the next Ricky?
Yeah, 100%. And the fact that we're all on one site as well, like the younger age groups can physically see it themselves. So if that's not a motivator, I don't know what is, to be honest. So yeah, that just makes our life easier because we can just point and show these examples. It can be done, and like we say every year to the youth team, if you put in the right amount of effort and commitment and you work hard every single day, you'll get a chance at this football club to play for the first team.
It's a big word in academy culture, the word relationship, because ultimately you've got obviously you've got staff in there, you've obviously got staff you're working on, part-time staff, you've obviously got player relationships as well. Is that something that's so important to have in terms of communication, in terms of development?
Yeah, so the enterprise is growing massively, so the amount of staff is growing massively, so that communication, like you say, is really important. There's different departments, the departments have grown, so the fact that we share one big office, we have regular meetings, is vital, because that communication needs to travel through, and that alignment all the way through as well. And that's one big part of my role as well, to make sure there's alignment from the under 7s all the way to the 23s, and to ultimately make sure the players are ready for the gaffer.
And I suppose, young footballers within the city, you've got academy open trials coming up from under 7s, I think, right through to under 14s.
Yeah.
It's an open trial, you can come in and sort of try out. Do those sort of things, are those still important, even though you're a category 2 academy, to not make sure that anyone slips through the net, so to speak?
Yeah, you see examples of lads that join academies later on and have been playing grassroots. Obviously, Leo is an example at our football club a few years ago. I think he joined at 13 and 14. So there's players out there. So we're just providing the opportunity, really, the open trials, just to have a look at them, and they can have a look at us.
And you mentioned the pathway, and you seem to have the right sort of staff in the right areas, if that makes sense. Obviously, Matthew's now sort of moved across to the 23s.
Yeah.
You obviously work with Kieran closely in terms of the academy manager. Those pathways are so important as coaches as well as players.
Yeah, again, 100%. We've got a real nice blend of staff. We've got the likes of John, who's been involved in various roles at first team level and youth development. We've got Simon Matty with their playing careers. We've got Semps, who's played here as a player. We've got loads of different varieties of people. We've got people who maybe more of an academic background, who have got a lot of hours out on the grass, and from that perspective. So I think that blend is really healthy and really good for everyone. So yeah.